Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing the next 4 stages, stages 61 to 64 of the Hachette Partworks release and build the U96 U-Boat. So I've got a quick build sorted out today. I say quick build, I mean all the parts that I've got in here look really quick, to be honest with you. Apart from that one, that looks to be quite a bit in to do there, so we're going to find that out together. Reason being is I'm not actually here. This is the spirit of Wayne now. This is Waynebot who's doing the video today because Wayne, me, kind of getting confusing now. I'm on my way to Barcelona, as I said yesterday, to see those 3 cars, which is going to be pretty cool. I should have a video out for that next week, but I wanted to get a video out every day this week because why break a run that I'm on? I always try and get a video out Mondays to Friday. Now, doing the U-Boat today. I don't know if this is still available, but you can check in the video description there, and there's also the QR code on the screen. Haven't actually looked at the instructions though, so let's see exactly what we are doing. Okay, so we're actually going to start with stage 61, and we've got 5 LED cables in here, and I believe we've also got the labels for those LED cables. We've also got some screws, and basically I'm looking first off for a cable which has got a red top, just like that on there. Let's take the cable off of here, and I'm going to be putting the label that says L2 on it here. Perfect. All the rest of these cables here, if I just take them off, are going to be having the labels L1. You know what, I used to just put these on willy-nilly, but if I've learned anything, if any of these fall off when it comes time to putting these into a control board, you're going to have a bad time. So that's why I try and take my time when putting these on now. There we go, all of those labels are in position. Now, in stage 60, we had this deck head panel looking like that. We're going to be putting all of the lights in here. So first off, I want that red one. That's the one that we labelled L2. That's going to go just into the middle, just here, and push that in. All the rest of these are going to go into the other 4 holes. Perfect. So that's how that should look. Put that to one side. And I'm going to be taking these 2 parts from the last stage, and I'm going to be piecing these together just like this. That's how it's going to go on. That's a quick dry fit there because I am going to be putting some glue just on the edges here. And when that's on, that's how that should look. I then need this bulkhead and the batteries. Now the bulkhead came in stage 53. The batteries were stage 57. I'm going to be putting these in place. And basically you see we've got a slot here. And we've got a hole. It's going to match the slot and the hole there. I think what I'm going to do, even though we are holding this in with a screw, I am just going to put a bit of glue just around that slot there. And I want one of these EP screws that come in this stage. Put that together like that. And then hold it in with the EP screw. Perfect. Now I get to take what we just created, and I'm going to be slotting the sliding lug there, and the screw, matching those up to that bulkhead. Now, you know what? I've been on fire with making mistakes this week because I just had to take this all apart because my locker, people did tell me about this by the way, was in the wrong way. So I'm just going to be putting that back in now because basically I had the open side facing out when it should have been that side. So let me just get this back together at the point we were just at. But there you go. When that's in, it should look like that. I'm telling you, when it comes to making mistakes this week, I'm in a league of their own. Okay, I've got 2 of these pipes to put in now. I am going to put some glue on these. So one of them is going into the slot just at the top here. So when that's in, that should look like that. And in the slot next to it, I've got a shorter pipe which goes in just like that there. And with that in position, now means I'm in a stage where I can actually link the other side of this bulkhead on. So let me do that now. And once again, I can hold that in with an EP screw just on this side. Now with this battery box, we do have a space here for another screw just to go in here. But I do think when all of this is in now, that is how that's looking. Pretty impressive. Okay, all that's left to do is to take what we've created here, and this is going to be sitting underneath these black sections just on the two holes on either bulkhead, because this is going to be screwed in. So this one's going to go in here. Don't worry if any bulbs fall out. In fact, it's probably better to feed it through the bottom there and slide it in like this. Just taking my time here. It's the other side, making sure everything's slotted in where it needs to be. That's good. Held in with 2 EP screws each side. And putting these in really does reinforce this up. I'll just put that LED in that fell out there. If it falls out again, I'll probably just put a bit of resin in there to hold that in, but that is all there is to do in that stage. To say there was hardly anything in the pack, there was actually a lot to do. So in stage 62, a few parts here. We've got the third magnet. So that means taking this section here, and I'm going to be putting this magnet into place. Doesn't matter which way round it goes in, as long as it clips into where it needs to be. So that is sitting in there just like that. Okay, let's bring over the U-Boat. And I want the tab that looks like this. Move these wires out the way for a second. Because I'm going to be putting this between the bulkhead here and here like that. It's going to be held in with DP screws. They come in this stage. Really am making sure that I haven't pinched any of these wires here. It's probably the hardest one to get in on that side there. All I'm going to do, same thing on the other side. No wires on this side, so a lot easier to get this in. And I'm just gently lying that down on its side there while I put the magnet section in, which is going to be going into these points here and here. And once again, that's held in with DP screws. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now I'm going to keep this exactly where it is at the moment, because as you can see, we do have another part in stage 63. And this is going to be dead easy, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be putting this bit of metal on here. And when that's in place, it means that this plate here is going to fit onto this section just here. I'm just going to try it out. As you can see, that looks pretty cool. That was an extremely quick section there, but that's the end of that stage. Let me just put this U-Boat to one side. So in stage 64, all of these parts here, we're going to start building the engine room. So first thing I need is these on the sprue here, and I also need this section just here. What I'm going to do is break off all of these parts with my sprue cutters, and these are going to be going into the positions just here, so they just slot in just like this. So one there, and I'll continue working down. One there, one here, and then finally, whoops, just one here. So when that's in place, that's how that should look. We want to break off the 3 on this one, leaving this part on the sprue. And the same way, we're going to be putting the smaller ones now on these 3. Don't know if I'm meant to be gluing these into place, but at the moment I've just put them in like that. In the last strut, we've just got this one, the larger one on this sprue, which is going to go in the end just there. So that's how that's looking. And then I want the smaller one just here, which has got a tab on it. And I'm going to put a small amount of glue just on this one. Because this is just going to go into the position here, following the same direction as all the others. Put that to one side. And now I'm bringing over this section here. Do you remember that one that we had left on the sprue? I'm going to cut that off now. And that's going to go into the points just here and here, that way round. Then I've got 3 parts here which I'm going to be taking off the sprue. And I need to glue these 2 halves together to make one piece. And then this is going to be going onto here. So again, a bit of glue on the bottom here. And glue this into place on here. So when that's in place, that should look like this. Now this is going to be going into the point just down the bottom here. So I am going to need to put some glue just onto these points here. So I can get this into place. So that's how that looks there. And then I need to put some glue into all 8 of these recess struts here. Because all of these bases are going to be going onto this section here. I think you're just going to have to be methodical by lining up each one as you go down. Just making sure they're all pushed down as much as I can get them. That's excellent. There you go. That's how that's looking. Now we've got 1 part left on a sprue here, which I need to cut off. Bit of glue on the end, because this is just going to go into the slot at the back, just here. Like that. Then I just want to take off all 4 of the parts on this sprue. And I want to start putting them on this side, this way up. So I will put some glue just along each channel here. And get all of these into place. So that they're all in just like that. Then the last thing to do is we're going to put this panel in next to this panel. It goes this way round. So again, I'm going to put some glue just on the edges here. And the same on these. And once again, piece these together. There you go. That is how that's looking. And that's part of the structure completed there. The only other thing it wants us to do in the instructions now, which I'm not actually going to do because we did that a couple of packs ago, is just to test all the electrics again. But because I've already done that, I'm not going to do that again. But that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. To say I didn't think there was much to do, that was quite fiddly, especially just creating this section here. But total recording time was an hour for that, when really, with all the mistakes I made, I probably had that done in 20 minutes, who knows. Anyway, I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.